Hi, I'm Ren.
I'm Sam.
I'm Tosh.
And
we're
we're
the
the
T
T-Swift
Swift sisters.
Welcome back to the T-Swift Sisters podcast, a Taylor Swift fan podcast for Swifties by Swifties. We're finally back, and in today's episode, we're talking Eras Tour updates, a London museum, and surprise song dresses. Here's this week's Swift Scoop. All right. I feel like it was literally 100 years ago since the last time that we recorded our pod. Honestly, like I can't believe we used to do this bi-weekly because the whole bi-weekly situation that we just had, I can't. Like it feels like it's been forever, honestly.
Yeah, weekly is like such a vibe now.
I know. I missed you guys. I missed the pod. I feel like we missed like so much in the Swiftie world with eras, and my God, it was just a lot. A lot has gone on, but that means also that we have a lot to talk about today. So I think we should start with Eras Tour updates. So we'll start with Australia. While we were gone, Taylor was in Melbourne and Sydney. She had so many shows in Sydney. I was not expecting like the Monday show as well.
The fourth one.
Yeah, I had no idea. I don't know. Like, I was also kind of sad that we didn't figure out a way to go to Sydney. Honestly, like, I was like, if there was one time in my life that I was gonna go to Australia, and like, not anything bad about Australia, just like making the actual trip and everything over there, I feel like Eras would have been like the be all that end all for it. Yeah. So I was like, damn, we should have figured that out, honestly. But I think where we really start with Eras Tour and Australia is the clowning for rep, because it's just like who we are now. And it happened so like in real time for us. Natasha and I were up at like 6 a.m. and we like found out in the period between like 6 a.m. and 6:05 that everybody was clowning for rep. So we were like, all right, we're clowning too. And we ended up getting a new vinyl variant slash like additional song. We have the Bolter now. And like, I think we should kind of start here, because what do we think about this? Like, I thought it was going to end at the manuscript. Obviously I thought we were like clowning for rep, whatever, but the last thing that I was expecting was another song off Tortured Poets. How do we feel about it? Because like I want our real thoughts about the fact that now you have to buy an additional CD to have another song. So like we have Tortured Poets, the CD, then we have Tortured Poets with the manuscript. Now where we're at in our timeline, we have Tortured Poets not including the manuscript, but including the Bolter instead.
And the Albatross too is the other one.
Well, yeah, that's why I said where we are in the timeline of eras. We have the Bolter. So like, were you guys expecting that? I mean, like, I don't know. How do we feel? What do we think? Did we buy it?
I bought it.
You bought the Bolter?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in, I think, Atlanta when she released it, and my friend and I got it when we were at breakfast, because I didn't think there was going to be more.
Okay.
Like, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I already have the one with the manuscript. This is like the other special edition. Like, I'm going to get it because I have all the vinyls. Yeah, I as someone who does love collecting vinyls and like has a lot, it a little bit makes me upset that I'm paying the same amount of money for one extra song and like still want to own the others, of course. Like it's
hard,
giving,
yeah, because
like,
you have to find money now somewhere else. You're like, okay, well, I got to save here because I spent an extra $30 for the same album to listen to one song.
Right. It's like when she released Midnight's variants, but at least that like all made like a whole clock and you could like use it as a display. I feel like truly like this is just not like we're getting a special song, but like that's it. Probably, and like the cover, but like nothing really connects. Or
so you bought the vinyl, not the CD?
No, I got the vinyl. Yeah.
Okay. Sama? How about you? Have you got any of them or?
No, I haven't since the original drop. I think because I'm a little bit like more salty at myself because while waiting in the queue for the original album drop, pre-sale, I was like, I had this thought, and I was like, what if I'm jumping the gun too soon? And I remember saying this out loud. I was like, watch, I'm gonna get this, and then we're gonna get something else really soon. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do it because everyone else is doing it. So I need to buy this right now. And it was literally falling into the trap of like typical, consumerism. But I had the thought process of like we're like this could be something else coming up, and you're just buying another thing. So I kind of wish I didn't like jump too soon and make the purchase. But at the end of the day, who knows how many more we're gonna get, and it's just gonna be a cycle of, oh, I want the new one, but I don't want to buy a whole other purchase and go through shipping and all that. And like Tosh said, the idea that it's just an extra song, but a whole other, purchase of a vinyl or purchase of a CD, I wasn't like too fond of. So maybe that's why I didn't get the other ones.
Get the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. As someone who like, you guys know, I literally purchase something from every drop.
Right.
I have not. I purchased from the first drop, and I got the manuscript, like that one, the featuring the manuscript, whatever. And like I was kind of enticed that it said like collector's edition, whatever, like that. When you have words like that, like I'm more than likely going to get them because down the line, like they become like special items. I kind of knew that like there was gonna be other stuff, but like I felt that I needed that one, so I got that one. Like kind of the same thing you were saying, Sama. And then with the Bolter, and then later the Albatross, I don't know. The Albatross was the one that was a little harder for me to like not take. But I think in general, I don't think the sales have been as great as they've wanted them to be because the albums haven't sold out, or like in the periods that they're available haven't sold out. And then you see Taylor Nation pushing them. And I'm like, I get both sides of it, right? I understand why they're doing that, and like the whole aspect of the collectors and being able to have like one and another and blah blah blah. But like also I think as much as I love Taylor Swift and Taylor Nation, like they could read the room a little bit, and maybe like the next time they want to do something like that, release all the variants at one time and like let us choose, or let us decide if we want to buy them all at the same time and pay one shipping. Like shipping is so expensive from UMG, and like that is such a big factor in why I won't keep buying the variants, because I'm like, I don't want to pay shipping every time, and like a $12.99 or $15.99 purchase goes up to $25 every time.
And like, not that it's a blind purchase, but like you said, when they don't drop them all at once, like you're gonna buy the first vinyl that releases, not knowing that you're gonna have the opportunity to get the same vinyl like with a different song or with a different cover. And that's what kind of made me upset. It's like once after the Bolter, once the Albatross came out, I was like, oh, okay, like there's literally probably going to be a few more, at least more, to have four. Like I didn't even get to see all the covers and see which one I really wanted, which was annoying. But
yeah, and like I think back to when the Lover journals were released, like at that time, those were all released at the same time. Like when Lover came out, you could buy. And we made the choice to each buy an individual journal. So like Sammy bought journal 1, I bought journal 2, you bought journal 3, and like someone else bought journal 4. And we just traded the journals around so we could all read the stuff and whatever. And it was nice. And like the CD never changed. I think it's a big thing that it's like one extra song on each different one. So I'm like, damn, now I have to pay the money to listen to it. But in this case, like it would still work because we just trade and listen to the song. I just like, I think there was a better approach to it, truly. And like, I'm excited if there's more songs, but I'm also a little bit sad. Like, I hope that they do down the line have like an opportunity where you can select what you want. I don't know, like, I'm kind of sad because I feel like I'm missing out, and like, I don't want to not hear the songs either.
Right. And it's definitely a choice. Like you said, as we've seen in the past with different drops, you can either have your original album and then drop like a limited edition, extended version, whatever you want to call it, with these extra bonus tracks, but all on one piece. So really you just have two different versions, making it more accessible, or you can literally spread each bonus track into different records or different CDs, which makes it kind of crazy. If you think about like the people that actually use maybe CDs or play the actual vinyls, it's literally changing the physical disc just to hear that one different song, which is kind of crazy to think about. So it's definitely a choice like on their end to do this. And like you said, it's kind of sad, but I hope that maybe that'll change down the line.
Yeah. Or I just like, sorry, go Tosh.
No, go.
I was going to say maybe they'll release like, if there's like 4 or 5 variants, maybe they release like almost like an EP kind of thing where all 5 songs are like on one disc. That would be beneficial because then I'm like, okay, I can buy that. Like if that's going to be the same price as the one album with the one additional song, I will buy the album, like the regular album, Tortured Poets, and then also buy the EP with all the songs in one place because it just makes my life easier. Like I'll still give you the money, just make my life easier out of it too.
Yeah. Right. How like special edition do we think the bonus songs are going to be? Like do we think it's going to be like a hits different situation where like eventually it was on streaming? Like cuz that's the other thing, it's like the odds that I will also never listen to this song unless I buy the vinyl are pretty low. Like I'm sure they're going to, I don't know, be released eventually.
Sweeter Than Fiction never made it to streaming, but like we have You're Losing Me eventually made it. Hits Different eventually made it. So I'm like, do we have to wait like 7 months, do we think? Because like Hits Different came out in May, like released on streaming in May, and the album came out the October before. So I think it's definitely going to be like, if it is a possibility that it's released to streaming, it will not be right away, I think. Which like it hurts me too. I'm like, I want to be part of the hype, man. I don't feel right having to pay so much every time to just be part of the hype and like enjoy Taylor's music, you know?
We also don't need that many CDs or that many, but you know, just for that one difference. Like I don't want to have so many piled up. Just the only thing different between this one and this one is, you know, one track. Like it's a little bit excessive, you know.
It takes up so much space, like having 3 identical vinyls.
Yeah, I'm like losing space on my bookshelf, which it's not a problem. Like I feel like I'm totally curating like a little, you know, like CD on one shelf and then vinyls on the other, and it's like all Taylor, and I'm like, I love it, but also I want to have room and money for the next time Taylor releases new music. So I'm like, damn, I got to pick and choose my battles, man. And like right now, I'm totally losing this one. I really am.
Well, maybe this was, you know, a lesson, you know, experience for us to kind of like slow down and really evaluate like the drops, like what's worth it to us. And, you know, we've always been talking about this, shopping wisely and not falling, you know, for the pressure of just buying things because of the hype. So maybe this is, you know, that moment.
Yeah. I just feel like it's so much harder with music than it is with merch, because merch, like you missed it and like whatever, it's like a t-shirt, man, or like a bag, you know, or the Lover House snow globe or the Christmas tree farm snow globe, you know. But with music, it's like I really want to listen to the song. Like, why aren't you letting me listen to it? Or why are you making me pay $25 extra to listen to one song for the album I've already purchased in 3 different formats?
Right.
I know it'll come around. I know we'll have access to it.
I just don't want to have the wrong access to it. Like I don't
like illegally or anything.
Yeah.
If you're losing me, we'll get it.
Yeah. We can FaceTime and I'll play the bolter.
Okay. Damn, but
That's
now
legal.
we don't have the albatross.
I know.
Okay, so going like backtracking or like sidetracking from the discussion of the vinyls and the variants and all of that, I feel like there's like been this weird thing where every time we all start to clown for Reputation, Taylor does something having to do with Tortured Poets. I don't know if there's like some kind of hidden like secret Reputation Tortured Poets like you know, relationship there. Like maybe she's hiding something reputation in there, like an Easter egg with torture poets. So I think we should just keep an eye on that. I don't think we really have to discuss like or go into it. I just be vigilant about it and like see if you start to see what I'm seeing. But like given the albatross, like she didn't, there was like no clowning for rep about that. I think that one just like totally came out of the blue. So I don't know. But I did want to say the Bolter. So I heard the Bolter is a bar where Taylor and Joe used to frequent. And some are also saying that it could be like, you know how like every time they would almost be photographed by Paps, he would like take her hand and they would run away, especially like I think it was after the day that she announced Midnight. There's like so many pictures of them like literally bolting to the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's either like about this bar in London or about like the fact that, you know, they were bolting constantly from the Paps and people.
That's what I thought, 100%. The second one.
Yeah. Yep. The second one, them bolting away from people.
Yeah, that's so him.
Okay.
I
Okay.
know.
And then with the albatross, so like going back to Australia and our updates, the albatross was released as an additional variant. By the way, I love the cover. I love the cover on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was also why it was hard for me to like pump the brakes on it and not get it. I'm like so grateful that I was like out of town this weekend when it happened and like not on my phone because I for sure would have fallen victim. They would have done the little Hunger Games canon for me, but I'm still here.
Oh my God.
But what I
You
do
live to
want
tell
to
the tale.
say, I do. I live to tell a tale. So does my bank account. But what I do want to say about the albatross is that an account called @ThrowbackTaylor on Twitter said, she tweeted, or they, I don't want to make an assumption, Taylor sang Coney Island after announcing the albatross. And guess what happened in Coney Island in 1903? A fire that was started by one of the Albatross Hotel employees was started because of an unrequited love at the west end of the Bowery. And who do we know has a pen name of William Bowery?
Dun, dun, dun.
It's Joe Alwyn, for those of you who don't know. So
Insane.
that's like mastermind level shiz right there.
For sure.
Do you think that was intentional, or do you think that like somebody just like found this out and like was able to put it together and like it was like a coincidence kind of thing? Like Fetch or Stretch, actually, right here. Fetch or Stretch. Fetch, Taylor was masterminding it and did it on purpose, or Stretch, this person just found out this story and happened to like make these connections kind of thing.
Fetch.
Tasha's giving
Fetch, you think?
Stretch.
I think it's
Tasha's giving Stretch.
I'm gonna go with Stretch.
Okay. Okay. Why? Why do you think Stretch?
Like I just think that the odds of her like naming this song and like planning, I guess when I say it out loud, like the odds are high. I was like, the odds of her planning to name this song and drop it or like announce it on this day, knowing she's gonna sing the Coney Island surprise song, are low. But like, I guess it's not that low.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just sounds like so like what history books is Taylor Swift reading that she like this whole thing, you know?
That's why I think it's Fetch, because I think she's so invested in
The narrative, like not the narrative, but like the storytelling aspect.
the storytelling, specifically of, you know, New York and the surrounding areas and the history behind it and the landscape of it all. So I totally believe she would fall down her own rabbit hole, make these connections, and then give it to us in like little album pieces.
Yeah, and I mean when you look at folklore, right? It's a fictional album about characters and things that she's made up because of things that she's seen. So maybe she came across this story. Maybe she's like writing the Coney Island song and she comes across this story and she develops characters for it and turns it into a song, you know? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be about one William Bowery. But it also could be because
It had to come from somewhere. Bowery had to come from somewhere. There's
This
too
is just
many
making me
types
want to get
of-
the vinyl even more.
that's the whole point. That's how their marketing works.
They got you.
That's the other side of Tay Voodoo. There's the Tay Voodoo that does the good things, and then there's the Tay Voodoo that makes you buy stuff.
'Cause damn.
Yeah. It's cray cray. And speaking of her singing Coney Island as a surprise song, we can talk about how she announced in Australia that surprise songs could be repeated. She was like, I'll repeat them whenever. That rule is totally done. And then literally has sang a mashup every single night since she's done that.
And I'm so here for it.
I'm so here for it too. I love it because you literally get like 4 songs out of it versus 2, but it's like, oh my God, are we ever going to get just a regular surprise song again?
She must have heard us because remember, we were like expecting mashups, didn't get any. And then we're like, hey, where are the mashups?
Yeah, I'm waiting for, hopefully we'll get tickets to Miami. And then in Miami, because remember, Taylor listens to this podcast. So Taylor, if you're listening in Miami, hopefully we'll be at all 3 shows, but we need a question. Is it question and
Well, I have this somewhere on my phone.
question and Out of the Woods mashup, or a Welcome to New York / Paris mashup?
Or both.
Or true, because we get 2 songs, so we get the 4.
It's truly what we like predicted Eras Tour was gonna be. Like, we really thought it was gonna be mashup. So the fact that she's doing it now is like iconic.
Like I told you, because she listens to this podcast.
Right. She heard the
Damn,
episode.
this is a really good mashup, but they are 2 William Bowery songs. But I hope that she like makes them Travie songs and makes them a mashup. Invisible String and Sweet Nothing as a mashup. I love that.
What about the I'm Only Me When I'm With You and Sparks Fly mashup?
Okay, I
That's
love
cute.
that.
That's a good one.
That is a good
I
one.
need to keep a lookout to see what she does. Also, is it, I mean, I don't know what it could lead to, but is she saying something by doing mashups? Like, is there some significance in like what she's pairing? Like, we look for her for a reason behind every action that she does. So
I don't know because and Tasha's gonna go off about the mashups and stuff like that in a little bit, but I noticed that she had done, I was thinking the same thing, and then I saw a mashup of Would've, Could've, Should've and Ivy. I saw that one come in and I was like, I don't know where the story, like the mesh of the story comes there.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so now
And like Forever and Always and Maroon.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, just not.
Yeah.
I need just some digging.
Yeah. Okay, so now a little segue into Tosh and your little discussion of mashups and dresses. Talk to us about it. What you got?
Okay, so there has been a little theory going around that certain dress colors that Taylor wears during surprise songs kind of like give a hint as to what kind of song she'll sing or like what emotion is behind the song. And we know so far there's like 4, we'll say variants, I guess, color dresses that she wears for surprise songs. So there's the yellow, the green, the like red and the blue. And it's like been theorized that the yellow dresses are when she's going to sing like a really emotional, like sad song. And she also wears that color when she like makes a big announcement. Like she was wearing yellow when she debuted the I Can See You music video and when she announced the Bolter version of the Tortured Poets Department. So it's like been a thing, and Taylor Nation has even caught on because this week in Sydney, the last night, she kind of like debunked the theory. So talking about the mashups, she did Would've, Could've, Should've and Ivy, like Ren said, and then Forever and Always and Maroon, and she was wearing green. She wasn't wearing yellow like you'd think because of the, type of songs. And then so Taylor Nation, shut down the theory, and they tweeted like hashtag Sydney, the Eras tour, the past 4 nights with you have kept us on the edge of our seats. Thanks for bringing the chant back and crying with us during the mashups. And then they added, we fear all the dresses now, ... So they like played into the fact that yellow should have been what she wore, but now it's also green. So just like a fun fact, I didn't really know about it.
Yeah, I didn't really know about it either. But when you mentioned that, I remember when she played Would've, Could've, Should've the first time. I believe it was in Nashville. It was like a Nashville rain show. I do think she was wearing yellow, like ironically enough. That's crazy.
There's a whole playlist on Spotify called like Taylor Swift Yellow Surprise Songs. And like they are pretty, like Clean is on there, Breathe is on there, you know, like just the deeper, slower songs. But
Cool.
I wonder if she was like doing it intentionally herself, like something like not for the fans, but just like she knew like, okay, like definitely on these days I'm going to play slower, whatever, like just something maybe in the preparation for tour. And then when the fans started to catch on, Taylor Nation was kind of like, shut that ish down. Like they're starting to think that it's something that it's not. Like you gotta let it go kind of thing.
And it made me think about what dresses she was wearing for like my shows and what she wore to Tampa. And like she did red for the Atlanta, like Gorgeous and High Infidelity. And then she did green.
She did green for LA. I do think that she was also green in Tampa. I think I had green both times, but I am curious to see what I had. And that night I had Mean and Mad Woman were my 2 songs. Let me see. April. I can't believe it was almost a year ago. It makes me so emotional.
That's crazy.
And it's been like 9 months, by the way, since we went to LA. Isn't that the most depressing thing you've ever heard?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It really doesn't even feel that far away.
I know. It feels like literally just yesterday.
Like I remember everything so vividly from that trip.
I was about to say maybe because it was such a significant moment that it's like, oh yeah, yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, she was wearing green for both that I saw her in, so.
What are the odds?
I know. Now that just means that she has to wear green every single night in Miami. And also that we need Miami tickets.
For every single night in Miami.
Yes.
Accurate.
But yeah, thanks for sharing that. I actually had no idea like about this theory. Like I guess that's one of the things that we didn't catch on. Like we clown about literally everything else. And this one we were kind of just like right over our heads, like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, same. We're too busy clowning for rep. It's fine.
Literally. Rep when, Taylor. Okay. And then lastly today, Sama, what do you have to share?
So this might be interesting, especially for UK Swifties. So there's a new job at the Victoria and Albert Museum in England, and it's for a super fan advisor for the museum. So super cool. It's for someone to advise on the fan culture, memorabilia that's related to the Taylor Swift fandom, and it's both fan curated and collected pieces. So that could be the bracelets, that could be signs for the concert. They really want to play into what's culturally significant at the time, and bring that into the museum space. So I thought that was super cool. They kind of want to take a deep dive into the Taylor Swift culture that comes with being a Swiftie. And they're going to use this role to connect that to art and design in general. So you must apply by March 7th. So send in your applications.
I love that. Yeah, my sister actually sent me the social media posts that have been going out about it last week. And I know she's listening to this podcast, so she's going to listen to exactly what I'm about to say about her. But she's like, do this. And I was like, I saw it already, but like the position's in London. And she's like, you're not a real fan then. Can you believe she had the audacity to say that to me? I'm like, and who is going to take care of your child, our baby Swiftie?
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So, Titi, if you're listening, rude, but like I totally thought about it. I was like, okay, if this is a remote role, I'm so down.
But
The
a
fact
local
that you even
Swiftie-
looked into it to potentially apply just shows that you are a real Swiftie.
Can you imagine? Like that would be so iconic. And Sammy, I have to ask, now that you're going into your London girl era, is the exhibit going to be around when you're in town or?
I'm definitely going to look into it. I don't know what dates it's actually open for, but I'm totally down if it will be open. So hopefully I can meet this super fan advisor for
That's so cool.
the Swifties. That'd be awesome.
That would be
And
iconic.
yeah. And to see, what we've been living through as Swifties all this time, going through the sign making process, us making hundreds of friendship bracelets in preparation for the concert and seeing it on display and, talked about like history. We're a part of history, ladies. That's pretty cool.
Herstory, baby. Every day. We're one of the handfuls of Taylor Swift podcasts too.
Mm-hmm. We should be a little piece of that museum.
True. Leave our card.
It'll be cool to see like the tangible things that make Taylor and like the Eras Tour what it is, because I feel like we're involved in everything and know so much and talk so much about it, but like seeing it all visually will be like so impressive, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm also excited to see. I really do hope that it's like open when you go so that you can give us all the like tea on it. But I'm really interested to see like what the you said that it was like fan curated and collected as well, right? So like things that fans are turning in, what they're giving,
Right.
And like what they're okay with parting with kind of thing. Sorry.
True. And I know the way that the museum itself is approaching this super fan type of role. So they have this for different like cultural niches that are currently happening. So they actually have it for Crocs too, since that's like a whole movement. They have it for Legos. So I guess they take, what's really culturally significant in the moment, like Crocs.
There's Crocs and Taylor Swift, the two things that make America, America.
I donated my orange Crocs to that exhibit.
I donated my gibbets.
And that's actually another point. I'm so curious to see, since this is something abroad and Taylor Swift is, American, she's a part of our culture. So, symbolic, I would say, of our culture too. It's interesting to see, this be taken abroad and have like a different community and different, group of people appreciate it as well. So I love that.
That's so cool. I really do. Like, I really, really sincerely hope that you get to go see it for yourself. Yeah, because it sounds literally amazing. And like, it's true. It's so much too, because it's so different than an exhibit here in the States where it's like, we know what to expect because Taylor's from here, but like how a different country / like their culture understands and looks at like, what are the things that represent our culture to them? Like it might be something insignificant to us, but it's something that's for sure on display over there because it's like out of this world to them kind of thing.
Like Crocs, I guess.
Like Crocs.
Like Crocs.
That is the American dream.
Like, how many things can you possibly exhibit for Crocs?
There maybe the evolution of Crocs, and there's like, platform Crocs are a whole thing right now.
I have a pair, ladies.
Okay. And you're making fun of my orange Crocs.
I told you I got my nude Crocs and I put my gibbets you got me on them.
I know I got you the gibbets. I didn't know that they were the platform ones because I actually saw them in white and they're like not hideous.
I have like the beige ones. I can show you them. They're cute.
Okay.
So this is what they want to exhibit. They want to exhibit the cultural, phenomenon of so many people backing this specific trend. So for the Crocs, like people lining up the stores to get a pair of shoe, ? What type of shoe is the Croc? I don't know.
It's literally a piece of rubber.
Exactly. So they're like, this is historical. We need to put it in a museum.
Literally
these Americans.
The reason why I had to stop using Crocs is because I cannot wear them without tripping on them. Like I I can't do the rubber thing.
That's because you're
Even
not
in sport mode?
sports mode.
Even in sports mode.
We just said the same thing.
Here's my theory about like these. Maybe I'm like picturing an American Hall in this museum, and the Taylor Swift exhibit and the Croc exhibit are next to each other, and the barrier in between the two exhibits is a statue of Taylor Swift wearing Crocs.
Oh, that's $1 million idea.
That's why Sammy needs to go see it.
I mean, I'm
For the
trying to
Crocs.
find dates, but I really can't.
And then they have like Crocs, like you know how they have those kind of shoes where you like stand in and you can take a picture. It looks like you're wearing them.
And it's
So-
the huge
Oh my
ones.
god.
And it's Era's Tour Crocs. So it's one for every era.
I hope I get to live this.
This is our application to the program to be the super fans. I do love it though, and I think it's super cool. And definitely if you're a UK Swiftie, because I know we have them on here who listen, so thanks for that. Go ahead and apply to this job by March 7th.
Okay, that about wraps up this week's episode of the T Swift Sisters podcast. Before we log off, please remember to follow our podcast on your listening platform by clicking the plus button next to our show and give us a rating. Follow us on social media for live TS news, updates, and so much more. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at T Swift Sisters Pod or Twitter at T Swift Sisters. Thanks for savoring this week's Swift Scoop. We hope you've had your fill of all things Taylor Swift, and we'll see you next week right here on the T Swift Sisters podcast. Bye.
Bye.